Today we're going to have part three of my next visit to my favorite coin shop. In the first video, we looked at the coins in this bag. The second video, we looked at the coins in this bag. And now for this third video, we're going to look at the coins that are on the screen. Two visits in a row that were incredible. I ended up purchasing a total of 79 coins. I paid $19 for everything that you've seen on the screen, and the first two bags were each worth over $30 each. And so we're doing really good here. Of course, with the normal caveat, I'm just looking up the book values for fun. I never try and sell them off that way. But we're going to see what we can get a total book value for the whole series of three videos. We're going to add them all up, all the coins, and see what it comes up to. We're going to start with this coin from Egypt right here. This one's going to be a 10 piastres. This has a Arabic date of 1399, our calendar of 1979. Catalog number is KM 485. We take a look here. This one is going to commemorate the Silver Jubilee of the mint, the Egyptian mint at Abbasia. So the Egyptian Mint Authority there started in 1954, and now that it's 1979, it is the 25th anniversary. And the words at the bottom there do say Ministry of Finance. There were 1 million of these made. Next, we're going to move to a coin from Fiji. In the last video in this series, we had a Fiji penny that featured Edward VIII, and that was a surprise in and of itself to find a coin of Edward VIII. But in 1942, the monarch was George VI, where it says King and Emperor. So one thing I'll point out about this coin is made out of brass, where the previous ones were made out of copper nickel. So in World War II, coins were made out of brass. So you can see the S mint mark right here that was made in the United States at the San Francisco mint mark in 1942 and 1943. They were otherwise made out of copper nickel, but with the George VI, these were made from 1937 to 1943, but they removed the fact that he was the emperor after they were no longer controlling India, and so it changed the back of these from 1949 to 1952 to just spell out George VI. Catalog number is KM7A, and this coin books for $3.50. Since we're talking about India and 50th anniversaries, let's go to this one right here. This one is going to be a 50 paisa. And it's going to celebrate 25th anniversary of the India independence. So they gained their independence in 47, and so the 25th anniversary there is 1972. This coin does not have a mint mark. Now, most of the time, the mint mark or symbol is going to appear under the middle of the date, but that's not considered the date that the coin was made, although it was made in 1972. It's just listing off the 25 years on here. So the mint mark you would find, if you were to find one on this coin, would be here underneath the 50, and since it's blank, that means this one was made at the Calcutta Mint. This coin is catalog KM number 60, and this coin books for $2. I believe every coin in every video in this series has had one coin from New Caledonia. That's going to be the case here as well. On this side, it's going to be the aluminum coin with the style that was used for a lot of the French-controlled regions. This coin is dated 1971, but this one is going to be a 2 francs coin. Fortunately, a little bit of corrosion there on the left. But we take a look, there is a bird with its wings spread out that fills up most of this coin. That is called a kagu bird. Catalog number on this one is KM number 9. And we flip this one back over, and I pointed this out on some of the other New Caledonian coins. You'll also see this on some other French-controlled regions at the time, that there would be letters signifying IEOM starting around 1972 on these coins. So if you find it 71 or older, it's not going to have the letters IEOM on it anywhere, so that makes it a different coin. Now, I picked up this next coin figuring that it was probably going to be hard to find, and it was also very well worn, and so I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to figure it out. So at least you can tell some of the letters on here, and since I have it on camera, some of the letters show up a little bit better. And I figured it was going to be a German coin, or at least one of the countries that made up Germany. But I'd have to go through and pretty much go through all the pages of the 1800s catalog until I came across it, and I did. So as we look at the words on here, you can probably see the bottom half of the letters. The first word is Grossherzogt, Grossherzogth. That takes up the whole left side of the coin. The next word is Sachsen, S-A-C-H-S-E-N, letter W, dot, E, dot. And then as we flip it over, this word's really worn, but it would have the word Scheide, Munzie. Munzie's fairly easy to read compared to other things on here. So Munzie is our word for money. And so Scheidemunzie means division money. Or in other words, this is a portion of a bigger coin. So it'd be like saying a quarter of a dollar in a United States coin. So on this side, where is it? Okay, there's the Munzie. Here we go. Right here we have the number 30. Einen Taler. So Taler is their equivalent of the dollar. And what that means is this is 30 of these make one Taler. So after digging through for a while, I found out that this belongs to the Grand Duchy of Saxe, or Saxony, Weimar-Eisenach. And believe it or not, there's silver in this coin. It doesn't look it, but the value of this coin is a 1 silver groschen, which would be written here in the middle of the coin if you could read it. But it's a Billen coin, so it's only 22% silver, but the rest of it is going to be copper. So I guess that's 78% copper, which is why it looks like an almost all copper coin on here. But there'd be at $33 an ounce of silver. That gives this 52 cents of silver in this coin that doesn't look like a silver coin. The ruler at the time was Duke Karl Friedrich. There is a date here at the bottom of 1840. There's an A for Berlin mint mark underneath it. Catalog number is KM 199. And I believe it's my first coin from Saxe-Weimar-Eisenach. Let's move on to some things that aren't quite as complicated. So we've got this early coin from Pakistan. It'll say Government of Pakistan in a couple of different alphabets on here. And then on this side it has 1 pice in 2 different alphabets, plus a date of 1952. And then you've got the crescent moon and star above it. So this is the first coin from Pakistan. It's catalog KM number 1. And this is made out of bronze. And it would take 64 of these to make 1 rupee. I pointed out in the other 2 videos that there were some of these coins that looked like they were taped with a brown packing tape onto something, all Arabic coins that otherwise were in really good condition relatively, but that kind of ruins it a little bit. And That's what we have here. This is going to be a coin from Algeria. It's a 10 centimes from 1984. Catalog number is KM115. This side looks better because there's no tape residue on here. We have a palm tree featured by a couple of rosettes. Next coin is going to be from Hungary, or as they call themselves, Magyar. So the person featured here, named down there, is Dosa. This is Georgi Dosa. He was from Transylvania, and he led the Peasants' Revolt circa 1514. This one is going to be a 20 forint coin from 1989. It's got a Budapest mint mark right there. Catalog number is KM630. Our next coin is going to be from Iran. So what we see in a lot of Iranian coins this time, we have the lion with the scimitar behind a radiant sun behind it, a crown at the top. This coin is going to be a 5 reals, and I had the 10 reals of the same set in the last video. This is going to be during the rule of Muhammad Reza Pahlavi Shah, and the text on here describes this as the 50th anniversary of the Pahlavi dynasty. The bottom, it has the current calendar they're using at the time has a date of 2535 at the bottom. So I had the 10 real of this 50th anniversary set in the last video. This coin is KM 1207. The date on our calendar is 1976, and then the Iranian Revolution wiped out the Pahlavi dynasty, and so the next 5 reals has a sort of a similar look here, a larger number 5 on it, the date of reals. They go back to the older Persian calendar. It's a different calendar on here. It's going to have a date of 1361. This does not match the normal Arabic calendar, but on our calendar this is 1982. There is a olive and oak branches on this side. We flip it over, and now we just have Arabic writing over here surrounded by a bunch of tulips. And these words essentially translate to the Islamic Republic of Iran. This coin was made from 1979 to 1989 and has a catalog number of KM1234. And I thought it was funny that the coin number 1234 is a 5. Here's a coin that'll have some pretty good value if you can find it in nice condition. This is going to be from the Netherlands, and it is a 2.5 cent coin. This one is catalog number KM134. It was made in 1906. There are 2 versions of this coin. This version was made from 2003 to 2006. And then they made some changes where the letters were bigger on the coin, which it's almost easier to tell that the gaps between the words are smaller on that newer version. But that version was made from 1912 to 1941. This is during the reign of Queen Wilhelmina I. And if you found this coin in MS-60 uncirculated, it would have a book value of $30. I'm saying this one's worth $3.50. The last video had a coin from Uganda that was the 2 shilling, but here we have the 5 shilling coin. It's going to be a curved 7-sided coin. Here we have the number 5 inside of a circle, has Bank of Uganda at the top and a date of 1987 at the bottom. Around the circle we have a bunch of leaves from coffee plants, and above the date we have a bowl of coffee beans. So if you love your coffee, this is the coin for you, I suppose. This is still a valid currency, and so in foreign exchange value, this coin is worth 0.14 United States cents. Catalog number is KM29. That coin books for $1. We're going to move back to Egypt with a 5 millimes coin here. The date we have on the left on the Arabic, let's see, that's going to be our calendar of 1975. Now they draw their 5 like we would draw 0. The Arabic calendar, it is 1390. Catalog number is KM 445. But I really like how some of the Egyptian coins feature, I guess, some Egyptian heritage on it. This one is along that way too. We have Queen Nefertiti on this coin. But there's also a symbol that is on her headpiece here, representing the International Women's Year of 1975. So they made a similar design in other denominations. There is also a rare mule error of this coin where there's a date of 1973 that's worth about 10 times as much, but this one only booked for 10 cents. So kind of surprising I didn't have it if that was the book value on it. We're going to move to a coin from Thailand that I picked up that's going to be an almost certain improvement to my collection. So this is going to be King Rama IX. And it features the mythical creature of Garuda. Appears on several Thailand coins. The bottom there features a date and a number system that I can't read, but this was only made for 1 year, and that year was the Buddhist era of 2517. On our calendar, that's 1974. Catalog number on this one is Y number 100, and it books for $1. There were 248 million of these made, so it's not particularly rare. We're going to move to a coin from Jamaica. This one is 25 cents from 1996. And it's from the series that they're making at the time of National Heroes. This one features Marcus Garvey, who had previously appeared on the 50-cent coin when it was about the size of a 50-pence British coin. Catalog number is KM 167. While we're looking at coins from Jamaica, we're going to pick up another coin. These are older coins are hard to find in high quality condition. So we've got Edward VII, King and Emperor, a coin dated 1906, and this one is a 1 penny. So it's kind of a large coin, but it is well worn. Catalog numbers KM23. This is made out of copper nickel. In this condition, it books for $1.25, but if you found it uncirculated MS60, it would be booked for $45. There are 2 versions of this coin. When you look in the middle of the cross that's on the shield, you can see a bunch of vertical lines, or they call it vertical shading. This version of the coin was made from 1904 to 1910, but in the years 1902 to 1903, there were horizontal lines that ran through that cross. Next up, we've got a coin from Qatar, or when I was a child, people called it Qatar. This one is going to be a 10 dirhams coin, and Qatar for a long time was controlled by Turkey, I believe, but when they gained their independence, they formed a monetary union with Dubai. So you'll find coins labeled Qatar and Dubai that have a very similar look, but they would say Qatar and Dubai, but it would feature on those coins, it would feature, I think, a springbok or some kind of antelope on this side, but when it was purely Qatar, it had this look of the sailboat and palm tree. So this is the first coin from just Qatar. It's KM1. This coin books for $1.50, and they were solo since 1972. Next, we have a coin from East Africa, and it's going to have George the Sixth on it again. George VI King. Rex is Latin for king. At one point, someone wrote a price of $1 on this coin, so hopefully that can come off. But I think you can only get away with writing in pencil on your collectible if it's a postcard. I don't think you ought to be doing that to coins, but I found some others in his bins that were otherwise some pretty good coins that were kind of like that. But boy, by this point, any reference to being the Emperor of India had been removed. This is a 1 shilling coin, catalog number KM31. There are essentially 3 different mints that made this coin. There is an H for Heaton, a KN for Kings Norton, or this version that does not have a mint mark on it at all. Next, we have a coin from New Zealand, nice and shiny. Queen Elizabeth, dated 2013. It's going to be a 10-cent coin featuring what's called a koruru. This is a Maori mask. This coin was made from 2006 to 2020. In previous years, the 10-cent coin was larger and made out of copper nickel, and they had a public campaign that they were reducing the size of their coins and putting in cheaper metals. But I will point out that the proof coins of this era were pure copper, and that made them non-magnetic, whereas this coin is magnetic. So it was good enough shape that I tested it and stick it to my magnet, and it's magnetic and not going anywhere. Catalog number is KM117. Next coin is going to be from Luxembourg. Dated 1915. This coin is made out of zinc, but has a slight bit of... Zinc coins turn black pretty easily, but this one has a little bit of the silvery look to it, just a tiny little bit. Catalog number is KM28. It is a 1-year coin, and the ruler at the time was Duchess Marie Adelaide. And so this coin in this condition books $4, but if you found it in uncirculated MS60, would book for $20. Now we're going to move on to a coin from Sudan. We've got another 5 on this coin. It's a 5 millim's. Has 2 dates on it, the Arabic date of 1393, our date of 1973, made out of bronze. This is an FAO coin, and so at the top there is the words that essentially translate to, let's produce more food. And in future years, those words are taken away, and so it's just an empty space up there. There is also it's either a banner or maybe chain links that connect above the eagle's head that connect the wings, and in really tiny letters it translates to victory is ours. Now we're going to move to a coin from Romania. This is a 3 lei coin featuring an oil refinery. This is catalog number KM96. Dated 1966, and around the coin it has Republic Socialist of Romania. So this coin only appeared this way for 1966, but there was a nearly identical coin that they made in 1963, 3 years earlier, that essentially said the People's Republic of Romania. So they kept pretty much all the same coin designs, even though it went to a socialist country. I'll also point out that this has a wavy border on it, with a star right there, and then just the waves going around it. This is also nickel-clad steel, and it books for $1. Always want to tread lightly when I get to coins from Germany of this era because a lot of people aren't going to like these. But it does come from the Third Reich era of Germany. And so a lot of people will find these coins interesting. I always like to make this disclaimer on here for their historical context, even for people that don't like coins. So I've been into some antique stores before that will show off some of these coins, or in museums that they wouldn't have any other coins, but since it was from World War II, they would show these off. Now, on the coins from the Third Reich era, during the war, their coins were made out of aluminum or zinc, and so they didn't come out looking as good. These coins that were dated before the war, and this one was 1939, made out of aluminum bronze, look a lot better, I think. It also had an E mint mark on it, which is from a city I was not familiar with, Muldenhutter. But catalog number is KM92, and this coin in this condition books for $6.50. Next we have a coin from Isle of Man. Featuring Elizabeth II, dated 1976. This is the first year that this coin was made. And it is a 1 penny. Featuring a sheep over the map of the island of Isle of Man. This is a sheep that's called a Manx Lotan. So it and Lotan is spelled a couple of different ways, and I'm probably mispronouncing it. Loghtyn. And one thing unusual about them is they have 4 horns. So zoom in on the head right there, and you see 2 horns going up and 2 horns that kind of curve around the ears and point forward. And so there aren't a lot of coins or a lot of sheep that do that. This is a catalog number KM33.1. There is a .2 version of this coin that was made only in 1979, where they added a privy mark of the Isle of Man Triskelion, which is the circle with the 3 feet on it, and also added die marks for that 1 year. In the early 80s, a lot of the Spain coins were highlighting the fact that the World Cup was going to be played in Spain in 1982. The 5 is really easy to find, and the 25, I get those every so often, but this is the first time I'd ever seen the 50 pesetas of that series. We'll go ahead and look here. It has a date of 1980, which on Spain coins, that's usually, at least during this era, it was the first year that the coin was produced. King Juan Carlos I. We come back here, and it has a soccer ball at the top here with a shape of Spain embedded on it with 82. And even says Spain 1982 there at the top, where we've got 50 pesetas. But the actual day the coin was made on a lot of these Spanish coins are the numbers that appear inside the 6-pointed stars, which on a coin this large is actually fairly easy to read. 1981. So it's the 1981 version of the coin. And then there is also some writing around the edge. A little hard to read, but it translates to one great free. KM 819. We're going to move to an older coin from Belgium. It's written as a 1 cent, but that's an abbreviation for centime. And I really like the details on this one. It's a smaller coin, but you can see a lot of details that are usually well worn when I normally find a coin from this era. Give me catalog number KM34. The ruler at the time was Leopold II. There are some different versions of this coin. It does say Leopold II, King on the left. But on the right it has Der Belgian. So even at this time there were 2 different versions of coins from Belgium. This is the French version, which is KM34. The Dutch version has, instead of Belgian, it ends in the letter S, Belgius. So this one's KM34. The Belgius version is 33. There's also varieties based on the thickness of the coin, and so I don't have any to compare it to, so I don't know if this is version 1, the thick version, or version 2, the thin version. But either way, it books for $5. There's also a couple of different overdates from 1901, and I couldn't get a good enough look with just my eyes looking on it. I tried to take a picture of it, so maybe if I zoom in enough on here. There's one version where it says 1801, and then there's another one where it's 1901 over 1899. Hard to say, but that would have made it worth even more. But in this condition, the coin's worth $5 just based on the age. This next coin I used to think was a coin that was really hard to decipher the first time I found it, but I'm getting a little bit better at it. It's the last coin in the series that has some of that brown-colored residue that's on it. But we've got the number 40 on this side, so it's going to be from Turkey. It's a 40 para coin. At the bottom here, it has a date of 1327. That's not the year of the coin was made, but it was the year that Muhammad V was the ruler over Turkey. Because as we flip it over to this side, the year of reign is the number right here, and that's their number 8. So this is the 8th year after he took over in 1327, so I guess that's going to make it 1334, I guess. But on our calendar, that's 1916, so it is over 100 years old on this coin. A couple of different versions here. The first version had a different symbol here to the right of the Tafra symbol that we see on a lot of Arabic coins during this time. And the symbol in years 8 and 9 was called the El Ghazi symbol. So they only used that for a couple of years. One thing I'll note, the catalog does not give a price of this coin to be found in uncirculated conditions. So XF, extra fine's the best you're going to see on this one. Catalog number is KM779. 40 para is essentially the same as 1 kurush, so it takes 100 of these to make 1 Turkish lira. This coin books for $2. Our next to last coin is going to be from Nicaragua, and I like this one because it is a larger coin, dated 1972, featuring Cordoba on the coin, and their currency is the Cordoba, so this is a 1 Cordoba coin. And it even says 1 Cordoba on the bottom, but a lot of these Nicaraguan coins has the radiant sun, and the sun has a face on it, behind the 5 hills. They only made this coin for 1 year. It's catalog number KM26. And this coin does have a metal rotation where you spin it this way for it to stay right side up. The proof version of this coin, you'd have the coin rotation to flip it over this way for it to be right side up. So one thing to note on that one. Our final coin in this video is going to be from the Vatican City. So this features Pope Paul VI. Then over here, Pontius Maximus A for year number 6. So it's the 6th year that Pope Paul VI was the Pope. Has the engraver's name G. Perrone there at the bottom. On this coin, we see it is a 100 lira. Year 6 of Paul VI would be 1968, which is not written on here anywhere. Catalog number is KM106. So this comes from an era where a lot of countries were making FAO coins. And believe it or not, the Vatican City has this as an FAO coin. So if you think of stories from the Bible that have to do with feeding, that is what's being depicted here. So Jesus is oftentimes depicted in Catholic mythology as having the the circle or the halo that goes around the back of his head. So the figure in the middle is supposed to be Jesus on here. He appears to be handing a loaf of bread to a man on the left. There's a woman on the right eating, and then a boy at the bottom also holding some food. So the story from the Bible they picked for their FAO coin was Jesus feeding the 5,000. And that is 5,000 men, and so that does not include the women and children that were fed in the story. There were only 315,000 of this coin produced, so pretty much all the Vatican coins were made in low numbers, so I pretty much pick them up every single time I find one. This coin has a book value of $2.25. So that's the end of these, but let's go ahead and add up the book value of everything. In video number 1, I said that there was a book value of $33.80. Video number 2 would beat that a little bit, $35.90. And so I finished video 2 saying, I wonder if we can get to $100 of total value in all 3 videos combined. And so we already were about $70 of the way there, and we did. The coins in this video had a total book value of $42, and when you add all that up, it comes out to about $111. And so we certainly got some pretty good catalog value out of these 3 videos. And so once again, it was a great visit to my favorite coin store, who has this 25-cent bin. I've actually been back to the store a couple of times since I made this purchase, and it hasn't been as good since, but I did pick up some other things from that. But I've also got some other videos from some other shows that I've been to here lately, and so got some more videos coming up in the future, and I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, bye.